welcome. We are joining you from SBI Live Studio. I'm Ankita Saxena and with me is Kanishka Sarkar. In the next 1 hour, we'll get all your stock-specific questions answered by our experts. But before we get going with the show, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up at this juncture. Kanishka, we've given up all those gains from yesterday. In fact, as far as Nifty is concerned, we are below yesterday's previous session's range as well. And Nifty Bank has also given up that 60,000 level.
Absolutely. A clear consolidation day is what we are witnessing. Nifty is at that 26,900 level, below that 26,100 as well. Just 0.3% down tick over there, 85 points down. Sensex 290 points lower right now at that 85,350 mark. So yes, that's Sensex for you. Nifty Bank that has also given up all of its gains, just doing slightly better though, just down about 0.1%, 66 points thereabouts. 59,600 is where the bank Nifty is at. So yes, largely muted day coming in. However, some of the stocks that are managed to hold on to the gains and are limiting the downside for the Nifty. Then these includes the likes of Asian Paints up 1.5% right now. Bajaj Finance as well doing pretty well for itself, up more than 1%. Whereas Dr. Reddy's, Bharti Airtel, these are all trading about 0.8% higher. However, some of the top losers over there that are contributing to the most losses on the Nifty, it's HDFC Life, Interglobe Aviation, Tata Motors, PV. All of these counters are contributing to the losses on the Nifty. But if you talk about the mid-cap indices are doing slightly better, absolutely muted trade over there as well, but at least on the green. Nifty mid-cap trading close to that 17,425, Nifty mid-cap 50 over there. Absolutely flat, but yes, at least holding on to that trade of green. So yes, that's how the market is largely shaping up, Ankita. Pretty muted trade. However, the broader market seems to be doing better right now.
All right, pretty quiet day that's coming in on East Street. But let's get going with the show then. Keep sending in us your questions. The number is flashing on your screens. Keep writing into us your stock price, your buying price, your holding period, and your question, and we'll get them answered by experts. The number is flashing in on your screens right now, so keep writing in to us. But let's get on board our guests then for today. Ajit Mishra, who's the SVP Research Relegate Broking, who's joining us now. And Avinash Gorshekar, who's the market expert, who's also joining us. Hi, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started with the first question that's coming in. This is coming in from Patrick Rodriguez from Mumbai. He says he has Bank of Maharashtra and Reddington. What are the short-term prospects for the stock? So the two stocks are Bank of Maharashtra from the PSU pack, and we also have Reddington. Ajit, what would be your take? He has a time horizon, a short term, perhaps a 6-month time horizon for this.
Yeah, good morning, Ankita. Ankita, we are seeing more of consolidation in Bank of Maharashtra in comparison to what we are seeing in stocks like Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, SBI. The leaders from the PSU packs, they are trading at the record highs. So in my opinion, with the time horizon of 3 to 6 months, the prudent strategy is to still switch to Bank of Baroda, considering the kind of potential that the stock is currently witnessing, and the possibility of further consolidation in Maharashtra Bank with 3 to 6 month kind of a time horizon. Reddington, on the other hand, it's a very volatile and high beta counter. So yes, we may see the next leg of the move the moment we cross 310 levels in near future. So here one can continue to stay put with 260 as a stop loss and 320.25 as the first target area.
325, that's the first target area for Reddington. That's the view coming in. Thanks, Ajit, for that. But we also have Avinash on the line. And Avinash, this query is for you. This is Surya writing from Bangalore. He's bought Canara Bank a year back. The price is 122 rupees. He's asking what should he do now? Do you think he should continue to hold on to it? Are the fundamentals strong enough, or should he look at selling at the current juncture?
No, I think Canara Bank should be held on. I think numbers for Q2 have been quite strong. And I think the busy season for banks actually starts from October to March. And looking at the GST cuts, the interest rates which have already happened, and the strong rural demand, our sense is that the second half will be much better. So I think already, he's making a decent amount of profit. I would suggest that if you can hold on for the next 6 to 12 months, at least the near-term target of 175, 180 looks possible. I think PSU banks are very well positioned. Asset quality is in control. And Canara Bank is one of those banks which has got a large exposure on the retail side. So I think definitely continue to hold. we could expect better prospects over the next 12 to 15 months.
All right, that's the view coming in on Canara Bank. But let's move on to the next question. This one is coming from Anant Nayak, who's writing in from Bangalore. He says he has 25 shares of Triveni Turbine at a buying price of 600 rupees. He wants to know if he can sell or add at current price. Ajit, let me come to you for this one. Triveni Turbines, is it a good add at current price? And she's not given a time horizon for this, but say for a period of 1 year, is it a good stock to get into right now?
So, see, indications are more in the favor of further decline of profit taking because post this, initial correction from its record highs, it's a very tight range congestion that the stock is currently experiencing for almost 2 months now, while holding below the key support areas. So, possibly we can see the next leg of the down move the moment we break 505. So, with that as a strict stop loss in case if you have an existing position, continue to hold your longs, but 560 is a strong hurdle also. So until we negate that point, this sideways negative tone might continue. Fresh buying definitely one should avoid until we decisively reclaim 560 levels, on the weekly basis.
All right, so that's the view on Triveni Turbine. You could look at holding on to it for now, and those are the targets that you should be looking at. But we have a live caller joining us now. Hi, please tell us what is your query. This is Thomas George joining from Chennai. Hi, Thomas. Very good morning. Please tell us what's your query today.
Yeah, good morning. I have 500 shares of Tejas Network, bought at the rate of 600 rupees. Can I hold on or add on or exit?
Right, so that's Tejas Network, I believe.
Yeah, Tejas Network.
Okay. And your buying price is 600 rupees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ajit, let me come to you for this one. What is your view on Tejas Network? He's bought it at a higher price. It's currently trading at about 500 rupees, 507 to be precise. Do you think he should book his losses now, or do you see more potential in this stock and he should continue to hold it for a longer time?
So in fact, he bought it at after the decent correction because if you talk about from the record highs, the stock has retraced more than 50% and still is gradually inching lower. Though there were attempts of recovery or rebound every now and then, but it couldn't sustain. So as of now, we are very trading closer to the support area, close to around this 480, 475 zone is what we have the previous consolidation range also placed. And we are seeing a bit of a early sign of a rebound also. So as of now, one can continue to stay put, but for any meaningful recovery, we need a close above 585 mark, then 650, 660 is something that the stock might attempt. But the overall trend is negative. So the prudent approach is to utilize any recovery to reduce position.
All right, so that's the word coming in on Tejas Network. I hope your question is answered. Thank you so much for joining us. But let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Swati. She is invested for the long term. She wants a fundamental view on, she has 5 lakh rupees and she wants to know if she can put her money in mid-cap IT and pharma. She doesn't want to do a 50-50. Mid-cap IT and pharma, is that a good bet as of now? Because, as far as the SMIDs are concerned, there is a cautious view on that. But what would be your fundamental view on this, mid-cap IT and pharma?
Yeah, is this question for me?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, see, I think I would say that mid-cap IT could be a better bet, but mid-cap pharma, I think one should wait a little cautiously. I think if the investor has got 5 lakhs, I think some part of the money can go in large caps and some part go in mid-cap IT. In the mid-cap IT pocket, there are companies like, Persistent, KPIT, which are definitely very good bets. Even companies like Coforge can be included. So I think IT is definitely a very selective kind of game. So I think these stocks can definitely give a decent alpha to the investor. And in the large cap, see, I think one has to bet on visibility. I think in this market, mid caps have been battered down very badly. I would suggest that, something from the automotive sector, either an Ashok Leyland or maybe an M&M, could possibly be very good bets in the next, say, 6 to 12 months. So I think, keeping the market sentiment in general and the safety of capital, I think a mix of large cap and mid cap IT and large cap autos can be included.
All right, so that's the kind of mix, large and mid-cap IT and autos is what you could look at. That's the word coming from Avinash. But on that note, we'll stop for a very short break. We'll be right back with more of your queries to be answered on the other side.
Resume with all your questions that you have been sending to us. The next question is coming from Rajesh from Bangalore. He says he's holding 200 shares of Yatharth Hospital at 753 rupees. What is the long-term view for the next 1 to 2 years? Avinash, come to you. Yatharth Hospitals, incrementally, analysts have been positive on the entire hospital space. What would be your view on Yatharth here?
No, I think longer term, prospects for Yathar Hospital appear to be quite promising. In fact, the company recently, about 6 months back, made a QIP also. So a lot of marquee investors have entered the stock, and I think the company has been adding to its bed capacity quite progressively. So, from a longer term perspective, over the next 12 to 15 months, if investors can even accumulate at the current odd levels, or for those who are holding on the share, should definitely look forward to better times. Not only the second half is a busy period for hospital companies, but I think FY27 also looks better. So our sense is that next 12 to 15 months, one could look at a target price of 875, 900. So definitely continue to hold. And even at the current levels, one can do a kind of a SIP also if one were to look at the next 12 to 15 months.
All right, so 875, 900 kind of levels is what we are targeting for Yatharth Hospital. But let's move on and talk about another stock. Now, Ajit, this one is for you. Balaji writing from Chennai. They want a stock pick for a 3-month time horizon. What is your best pick right now that you think is going to give the best returns over a 3-month period?
See, we are seeing that some of these stocks, especially from the auto space, they have done exceptionally well alongside with banking and metals. Now, the ancillary space is also witnessing strong traction or consistency in the trend. So, Motherson, which is Samvardhana Motherson, is gradually inching higher after a period of a decent corrective phase. Of late, we have seen a fresh breakout after almost a month-long consolidation. So we expect the stock to gradually inch higher towards the record high area, which is 140 mark. So as a short-term swing bet, definitely one can look at Samvardhana at current levels with 110 as a stop loss and 140 as a immediate targets.
All right, so that's the view coming in. But let's move on to the next question. This is Rajesh, who's writing from Thrissur. He says, is it a good time to invest in textile exports-oriented stocks? That's an interesting question, Avinash. Textile exports, given the overhang of the tariffs. Now, we were talking about how India has greater tariffs than any other country like a Vietnam, where, textile exports is a major competition to Indian textile. So he wants to invest in textile exports at this juncture. Would you recommend that?
Yeah, I think, if the investor has a slightly longer term horizon of say 12 to 18 months, because we feel that, Indian textile exports are now poised to do very well. And once the US-India tariff deal is signed off and hopefully we get a lower tariff, then I think most of the companies which are exporting, cotton textile exports, especially, companies which are into home textiles, something like an Indocount or a Gokuldas Exports, Arvind, these are companies which are well established companies and which have got a very strong distribution network abroad. So I think maybe in the next 1 or 2 quarters, the performance of these stocks may be a little volatile. But once clarity comes on the US-India trade deal, hopefully I think next year should be a good year. So I think, don't buy for short term, but if your time frame is say 12 to 15 months, then I think one can definitely start nibbling at the current levels for a slightly longer term kind of time frame.
All right, so that's the view. Now let's move on to the next query. This one is from the aviation sector. Ignatius has written to us from Kolkata. They're a regular viewer. They've been holding 20 stocks of Indigo at a price of 5,887 rupees. They can hold it for another 2 years. And they want to know whether or not are the current levels good to add more to it. Of course, they are sitting with a slight bit of profit. 57.23 is where the stock is currently at. So I'll come to both of you. Avinash, let's start with you. What about the fundamentals? Do you think strong enough to hold on for a longer term? And then for the levels, I'll come to Ajit, to you.
Yeah, see, within the aviation market, Indigo is clearly the market leader with a 50% market share. And I think, one important aspect which is very important from a financial standpoint is that, the company has been generating very healthy free cash flows. So despite the fact that, they reported a loss in the quarter two, I think free cash flows have been something which are a major highlight for the company. So our sense is that, if somebody can hold on for the next 12 to 18 months, as long as the aviation market continues to grow, there is going to be a tremendous kind of runway available for a player like Indigo. So I think you need to stay invested for the longer term. My sense is that even from these levels, a 20-25% upside for a large cap like Indigo is very much possible. But I think you need to hold on for the next 12 to 18 months.
Good. Hold on for a next 12 to 18 month perspective. That's the view coming in on Indigo. But Ajit, what about you? Are current level good to add more? But accumulate more? His buying price was 5,887.
So we are very, very close to his existing buying price. So I feel that since the stock is consolidating in this band 55.50 to 59.50 for almost 3 months now, and off late we are again seeing an attempt of further profit taking, means the stock is currently trading around the 100 days of exponential moving average. So in case if it fails to hold this area, then probably we can retest the previous swing lows. So maybe around 5500, 550 is something that he can consider adding more with that long-term time horizon.
All right, so that's the word on Interglobe Aviation Board Techie and the fundamental views on Interglobe. But let's move on to the next question, which is coming from Murli from Andhra Pradesh. He says he has 4,000 shares of Sagility and he has purchased at a buying price of 55. Your view for the next 6 months, Ajit, what would be your take on Sagility for the next 6 months? He's bought at a buying price of 55, so clearly he's sitting at a loss.
Yeah, so basically, if you see that broader markets, we are continuing to experience the underperformance, especially in the small cap space. And in fact, Stability has done comparatively well, means the stock has recently made a new record high. But post that attempt, we are again seeing a bit of a profit taking, but still, it's maintaining around the short term averages. So which shows that the stock has potential to do well. Provided it manages to hold up of this 46, 47 mark, which is the 100 days of exponential moving average. So in my opinion, one can continue to stay put with 46 as the stop loss. And gradually the stock can inch toward 54, 55 in next 3 to 6 months.
That's the view on Sagility. But Ajit will stay with you. The holiday season is up and we have queries coming from the aviation pack. And this one is from Ease My Trip. Ravi Ramakrishnan writing from Hyderabad. They bought 2,000 shares at a price of 14.5 rupees. It's been a year that they've been holding this stock. The stock is currently trading around that 7 rupees level. So obviously they are sitting with a significant loss at this point. What would you suggest? Should they hold, exit or average at the current price? Do you think this stock has more legs in the short term? Because so far in 2025, it has declined more than 50%.
That's true. And in fact, we are trading closer to the record lows also. So I feel that, in case if you are stuck, the prudent approach is to, admit your mistake and exit from that position. So I'm still not seeing any sign of recovery or revival. Means in case if there'll be any rebound toward, let's say 8.5, again, it might face resistance. So the prudent approach is to stick with the top performing names which are aligned to the overall market trend. Means banking, auto is something that you should prefer, especially the PSU banks, in case if you want something to hold on to from the high beta space, and exit is my trip at current levels.
So that's the word coming in on easy trip planners. But the telecom department also has mandated that mobile manufacturers and importers pre-install the Sanchar Sathi app on devices sold in India. Now, the companies have 120 days to file a compliance, even as concerns over the privacy and government overreach come into play. My colleague Sameer Dixit is now joining us with the details of what this move could mean.
In a move to curb the telecom cyber fraud as well as to enhance the genuineness of the mobile handset, now the government has came up with a very important order. The Department of Telecom has issued order to all the mobile manufacturers as well as to the importers that they have to mandatorily install the government's Sanchar Sathi app in the mobile. Now, not just the new handset, but also the handsets which are already manufactured and are in the sales line. For that, the government has directed that through the push notification, through the software upgrade, this Sanchar Sathi app has to be installed. Now, why so much push on Sathi? Because government understand that this app will help to curb the telecom cyber fraud, will help to reduce the misuse of the telecom resources, as well as non-genuine mobile handset sale will be reduced. They can curb it. Only the genuine IMEI-based mobile handset will be pushed for the sales in the market. So, Sanchar Sathi app is being pushed by the government. But when it comes to the compliance part, within 90 days, this has to be complied by the manufacturers, and also a detailed compliance report has to be submitted within 120 days. But this Sanchar Sathi app and the direction has now got criticism as well. Many opponent political parties are now raising the question on the intent of the government. They are objecting that this particular app is basically a step by the government to infringe the privacy. Basically, government wants to peek into the content that you are using into your mobile phone, and that is the reason that they are now opposing the government move of installing Sanchar Sathi app mandatorily. As of now, from the manufacturer side, what we are getting to know from our sources that they are saying that since it's a government order, they will comply by this.
All right, so that was the latest on Sanchar Sathi app. Thank you, Samir, for that update. On that note, we'll slip into a very short break. Don't care. Welcome back to VT. Now you're watching By Now Sell Now with me, Kanushka Sarkar and Ankita Saxena. And on the technicals, we now have Forum Chera joining us. She's the founder and Chart Analytics. Hi, Forum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. And on the fundamentals, we still have Avinash with us. Well, let's get started with all the queries again then. This is Abhishek writing from Mumbai. He wants to invest in BEL and iRadar for a long term. That's at least for a 10 to 15 years period. Are the current levels good to enter at the current juncture? Forum, let me come to you. I understand that he's looking to invest for a longer term horizon. But are the current levels good to start your investment journey in BEL and iRadar?
Well, if we talk about IREDA first, and the overall, actually, the stock price has been quite under pressure, even if we look at it from a long-term perspective. So far, it's not showing any bullish signs, although it is at a very good support level. So I think he just needs to wait for a while for give a good weekly closing above 150 to consider buying in IREDA. Until then, he can just wait and observe the stock for it to just see a bit of a bounce back. Secondly, on BEL, I think, yes, he can consider investing at these levels also. They are good to invest. And in fact, there is a very short-term resistance or a very crucial level of 431. Once those levels are taken out, we can expect the stock price to move much higher. It can have some more momentum as well. So for long term, it's good to buy even at these levels also.
So for the long term, you could consider buying at these levels. But Avinash, what about you? What do you have to say about the fundamentals of these companies?
No, I think clearly BL, we also believe that there's good long-term value provided the investor can, stay invested for the next, say, 2 to 3 years. They have an order book of almost 75 odd thousand crores. The company is net cash positive. And I think, with the kind of opportunity in the defense space, I think you're going to see a lot of action coming in. The Russian, President Putin is coming very soon. So, a lot of news is going to be centered around technology and defense. So we could expect a lot of action in the very near term also. And as far as IREDA is concerned, I think you need to look at it from a longer term perspective. The stock was in fancy once it got listed. The stock has not been doing well because Q2 was not all that great. But if you look at the long term renewable opportunity, it is a very large organization which funds renewable projects. So I think taking a 18 to 24-month view, one can start nibbling at current levels and do a small SIP. I think you need not buy everything in one shot. But I think this will definitely give you rich rewards over the next 2 to 3 years.
All right, so that's the word coming in for Irida. But let's move on to the next count. Another interesting question coming in. This is from Shrikant from Hyderabad. He says he holds a Paytm since December 2021, 100 shares. He has bought it at a buying price of 1,376, which is he's finally reached the buying price today. He wants to know if the counter will surpass its IPO price in the next 1 year. So can he hold it for the next 1 year? Now remember, Paytm's IPO price was 2,150 rupees. In the next 1 year, I'll take both of your views. Forum, firstly on the technicals, does it look possible now? Paytm has moved up quite a bit. It's up almost 50 odd percent. It's almost doubled in the next 6 months. But do you see it actually reaching the IPO price in the next 1 year?
Well, it's little less likely what I feel, technically speaking. So far, the stock price is doing extremely well, even technically good, strong on daily chart, weekly chart as well. Now it seems the volume is somehow getting little more average instead of an exceptional volume which is required for an up move. So I think even right now that it has the potential to move up towards the levels of 1500 to nearly 1550. That's what I feel, that it's going to face some resistance. From it has a very crucial level. So from a 1 year perspective, it requires to have that exceptional volume to cross. Otherwise, I feel that there is a resistance near 1500 to around 1550 levels.
Right. So even on the upside, 1550 levels is what we would watch out for, Avinash. What would be your view on the fundamentals? Because Paytm is one stock that has really seen, it has really been like a tidal wave going up and down. And it has, of course, done very well in the last 1 year. But it has also been marred in a lot of issues earlier on. In the next 1 year on the fundamentals, do you see it really touching those IPO levels on Paytm?
No, I don't think 2100 looks possible because, frankly, that price was extremely overvalued, and I think markets actually bought the narrative, and unfortunately, the company was not able to deliver on the numbers. So I think, as my other colleague said, I think the stock has done very well from the lows, and I think probably a level of 1500 or 1600 looks possible because I think to a large extent, short-term troubles have ended. The company seems to be on track. A lot of cost-cutting initiatives have been initiated by the company. So yes, longer-term prospects look good, but IPO price to achieve in the next 12 months looks a bit tough.
All right, so achieving that IPO price for Paytm looks a little bit tough right now, both on the back of technicals and fundamentals. But let's move on and talk about another stock. We've already discussed this once, but this is a technical question, so we'll take it. This is Smita Vikram writing from Bangalore. She is planning to purchase shares of Interglobe Aviation at the current market price. She has a 3 to 6 month time horizon view, and she wants to know whether or not it's a correct strategy or should she wait a little bit longer. Forum, what about you? What do you think? Could we see a further fall in Indigo, and should she wait for lower levels, or now is a good time to enter?
Actually, if you look at it, the overall view of the stock this year, since Jan, the stock price has moved from almost like 3,900 odd levels to nearly close to almost 6,200. After that, we've seen the stock price tracing in the month of August or so. And since then, the stock price has been moving in a very broad consolidation, where on the lower side, it has been taking support near 5,500 levels. And on the upside, it's close to almost 6,000. I'm just rounding it off. So we see it's like 1,000 point of like a 5,500. So there's almost like a 500 point of a trading range what we are seeing in the stock. So according to me, the stock price can come down to retest those levels of 5,500. Hence, she should wait to buy at lower levels so that her risk reward ratio also becomes favorable. Where she can maintain a stop loss below the levels of around 5,480 and look for a potential up move back again towards 6,000. And since she's looking for almost like 6 months, she can also look for a little higher target of closer to almost 6,030, but that's very marginal. But she can wait for lower levels to add so that her risk reward ratio fits in well.
So that's the technical view on Interglobe Aviation. We'll move on to the next question, and this one's coming for the Pharma Pack. Now, this is Bala writing in from Chennai. He says he wants your view on Strides Pharma and Zydus Life. Are they good bets in the pharma space at the current price for the next 1 to 2 years? Avinash, pharma, what's your view on pharma vis-a-vis the tariffs? Because the entire Pharma Pack has been Nifty Pharma has been underperforming. What's your view on specifically Strides and Zydus and the Pharma Pack in general as well?
No, I think the pharma pack looks quite interesting because in this India-US trade deal, pharma and IT are two sectors which have been left untouched by the tariff issue. My sense is that see, Zydus Life looks far better considering the kind of opportunity and the kind of traction they have for their products. And I think the management commentary post the Q2 numbers has also been quite encouraging. So we would suggest that if the investor wants to take a 12 to 18-month view, Zydus definitely looks interesting, can give a decent risk reward. But as far as Strides Acrolab is concerned, I think the stock is available at a fair, expensive kind of valuation. So I think, here, if the investor already has it, he can hold on. No fresh buying is suggested. I think within the pharma pack, we continue to like companies like Lupin, which have delivered very strong numbers in Q2. So I think Lupin can be a much better bet compared to Strides Acrolab.
So Lupin looks like a better bet compared to Pharma if you're looking to enter currently. So that's the view on the pharma space. But moving on to another question. This one is coming from S. Ramji, writing from Chennai. They've purchased Adani Enterprises at a price of 256. Forum, they're asking whether they should hold on or sell at the current juncture. What would be your, say, 3 to 6 month view on Adani Enterprises?
Could you just repeat the purchase price?
Yes, their purchase price is 2456.
Okay, thank you. So I think the stock price has kind of underperformed this year compared to the benchmark like Nifty. So I think they can hold on to the stock, but have to maintain a very strict stop loss below the levels of around 2040, because that becomes a very crucial intermediate support level. And hence, any breach of these levels would indicate further weakness, and hence that stop loss should be maintained. Meanwhile, on the upside, they can look for a target back again towards the levels of 2,550 to 2,600, which again is more like an intermediate resistance, because there are multiple moving averages like 200, 100, which are coinciding at those levels and are expected to face a strong resistance until and unless we do not see any volumes or any positive news playing out. Hence, I would rather suggest that wait for a rebound and consider switching from the stock, meanwhile maintaining a stop.
All right, on that note, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere after the break. We'll keep taking your questions, so keep writing into us and stay tuned.
Fly Emirates, fly better.
अपने दिल के हिस्से की सेफ्टी से समझौता? नो चांस। इसलिए पॉलीकैब ग्रीन वायर्स, जो है लेड फ्री और इमरजेंसी में दे कम टॉक्सिक गैस। पॉलीकैब ग्रीन वायर्स, इंडिया सेफ हैप्पी कनेक्शन।
इन एसोसिएशन विद बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
The best holiday ever's finally over.
When you fly Emirates, your holiday isn't over until your flight is over.
बिजली का बिल 5,000।
आउटगोइंग तो जा रही है, आपकी क्या तैयारी है?
रूट कैनल 25,000।
आउटगोइंग है जा रही, आपकी क्या तैयारी?
सीनियर क्लास की फीस 1 लाख रुपीस।
मनी की आउटगोइंग रहेगी जारी, इसीलिए कर लो तैयारी। SIP के साथ इन्वेस्ट करो और जरूरत पड़ने पर SWP के साथ सिस्टमैटिकली विड्रॉ करो। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
एंड ऑफ द मंथ और ये बची कुची सैलरी, इतने में क्या ही मिलेगा यार।
इतने में तो सिर्फ सोना ही मिलेगा।
सोना? तू ठीक तो है ना?
गोल्ड ETF 200 रुपए हो या कम, इन्वेस्ट with just a demat account. And the best part, ये regulated है and it's backed by real gold.
क्या बात है यार?
Gold ETF. It's Aaj Ka Gold. A simple way to diversify and balance portfolios with 200 rupees or less. We are everyone. But we're not just anyone. We choose progress over pressure. We say no to shortcuts. And yes, to the strength of discipline. To the pride of planning. To the thrill of watching our future take shape little by little. We are citizens. And you can be one too. Sip Karo. Citizen Bano. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
मुबारक हो सर, आपका रिटायरमेंट प्लान रेडी है।
Thank you.
जिम्मेदारियां हमसे पार्टी हल्का लगेगा। इंडिया फर्स्ट के लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्लान्स।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
तेरा ये बिजनेस एक मास्टर स्ट्रोक है यार, है ना? पर मुझे लोन कौन देगा यार? ओ गॉड, सचिन क्यों देगा मुझे लोन?
अरे मैं नहीं, बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा देगा तुम्हें एमएसएमई लोन। बॉब डिजी उद्यम के साथ 100% डिजिटल प्रोसेस, अप्रूवल इन मिनट्स। बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा से एमएसएमई लोन लेना भी एक मास्टर स्ट्रोक है।
2 hours of staring at clouds. 2 hours of staring, yes. But binge watching your favorites on this window? Bro. I love this window. That's Air India now.
Hi there, welcome back to Now You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now right here on SBI Live Studios with me Kanishka Sarkar and Ankita Saxena. Time now to get back to all the queries then, and this one is coming from Subrata Mukherjee writing from Kolkata. He wants to buy HUL today for the long term. Avinash, what would your view be HUL for the longer term?
HL or HUL?
HUL. HUL.
See, I think as far as the longer term is concerned, this stock has not gone anywhere. In fact, this is a compounder stock. And I think, if the investor is happy with, let's say, 14-15% returns, then I think he can definitely look at buying Hindustan Lever and stay invested. I think, if the investor is looking for growth and wants to generate an alpha in the next, say, 2 to 3 years, then I think this stock is definitely not in that category. So it's a more of a safe defensive stock. Largely represents the FMCG sector, and with a good monsoon, interest rate cuts, rural demand, we expect that possibly in the next 10 to 15 months, a upside of say 14-15% is possible. So, that kind of decision the investor has to take, but it's more of a compounder stock and not a growth stock.
All right, so that's the view coming in on HUL, but let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Vijay Kirti, who's writing in from Chennai. She says that she wants an outlook on Container Corporation. She's holding 400 shares at a buying price of 1,060, and she's clearly sitting on a very big loss right now. In fact, her wealth is halved here in Container Corp. She wants the view. What should she do right now? She's not given a time horizon actually, but Avinash, let me come to you for this. Container Corp, do you see any time, any reversal as far as the fundamentals are concerned? Does she need to hold it for a longer period of time, or should she really now cut her losses?
No, I think, see, currently the price of container corporation has come to a very attractive level. And if you look at the rail logistics sector in India, container corporation represents, that segment and where the market is very large. So I think, considering the fact that the government is putting a lot of focus on rail freight opportunity, and with more and more, companies opting for the rail transport model, I believe that container corporation will benefit. The key reason why container corporation stock has come down is that, somewhere down the road, container corporation was going to be privatized. It was going to be sold to a strategic investor. That has not happened. So the markets actually were very happy that some private sector player would take over this company, which has not happened. So if you keep a time frame of, let's say, 12 to 18 months, I think things are not completely lost out. I think you need to put in that time and patience, and I think stay invested here. If possible, you can try and average this stock at the current odd levels, because downside is more or less capped, and hopefully next year should be a good year for them. So I think it's a strategic hold, but from a longer term horizon.
All right, so a strategic hold call on Container Corporation from a longer term horizon. That's the word coming in. But let's move on and get you the next query that we have. This is Jaya Krishnan writing from Kerala. They have Equibag shares at a price of 14.99. They've been holding it for 6 months. They want to know whether they should exit at the current levels or shift to a stock like Samvardhana Motherson or Hero Motocorp. Forum, what do you think? Of course, they're sitting with a loss right now. Their buying price is 14.99. What do you think? Should she move to the likes of Samvardhana or Hero Motocorp, or would you suggest any other picks?
Well, I think for now, one should just stick to the stock. The reason being is that it's very close to the support level, and technically speaking, it's taking support near the 100-week moving average. So that's quite a good, decent, and important support level. That's closer to almost between 1300 to almost 1330. Now, since the stock price currently is at 1383, and if we see that since November, the stock price has been consistently multiple times tested those levels, and we have seen a bounce back. So it's a good level to continue holding on to it. If they're looking at switching, also both the stocks have been good, Hero Moto and Motherson. However, we've seen Hero Moto actually better outperformed, already has outperformed, and it's already been into the momentum. Meanwhile, Samvardhana is something more even at current attractive levels. But since this, I would suggest to continue holding on to it, at least for it to move back towards the levels of 1500 to 1515 or 1515, and then we can look at considering to switch to Samvardhana. Otherwise, I would say for now, just hold on. In case the stock price has to even reach the levels of around 1320, then consider exiting it. Till then, it continues to remain a hold.
All right, so that's the word coming in on Hero Moto. But let's move on to the next question. This is Padma Siva who's writing in from Bangalore. He says, is Bandhan Bank a good buy at current price? Please advise. He wants to hold it for the next 3 years. But for Bandhan Bank, is it an attractive level to get into? Because yes, it has corrected considerably. A good time to enter Bandhan Bank for the next 1 year?
Bandhan Bank overall, actually, I would say that there are much more better banks compared to Bandhan Bank right now. Overall, we've seen the stock price moving, but there isn't too much of volume that is required for it to see some kind of an exceptional move. It's just been, testing those levels of around 130 or so, and then again it moves up a little, rebounds, but it comes down. I would rather suggest to look for some other stocks. Probably there could be like there's City Union Bank, or there is IDFC First as a good investment, or even SBI at lower levels of 945. Can Bank is again a good stock to be in. So I would suggest instead of Bandhan Bank, there are much more alternate banking space stocks which look much more attractive and can give better returns.
All right, so those are some of the picks from the small cap banking space. Thank you, Forum, for that. And Avinash and Forum, we'll let you go on that note. That was the last talk of the day. Thank you so much for joining us today and for your time. All right, then. Time now for a quick programming note. Now, the beginning of every month often marks key financial activities like salary credits, bill payments, and planning expenses. But just as we plan for our expenses, it's equally important to plan for our investments as well. To encourage this habit, SBI Mutual Fund, in collaboration with Times Network, is launching a nationwide investor awareness initiative, Bharat Nivesh, Behtar Nivesh, Behtar Kal. The objective of this initiative is to promote the habit of consistent investing among Indians, helping them secure their financial future. And as part of the campaign, we are observing 4th of every month as a monthly reminder to ensure that you start your mutual fund SIP or ensure that your SIP continues. So go on and set your reminder to invest consistently and stay committed to your goals for the financial well-being of you and your loved ones.
And with that, it's curtains down on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Kanishka and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. Market at noon is coming up next.